Nakivubo Stadium, Uganda's most beautiful and second biggest stadium. In just over 6 years, one man's dream of a better stadium turned into an exceptional stadium worth over $200 million. Today, we are going back to the earliest days of Nakivubo Stadium to figure out how that magic happened and what the ingredients were to their success. The year is 2005 and Hamis Kiggundu had just graduated from Makerere. As any law graduate can tell you, becoming an entrepreneur is difficult if you don't have any good ideas. But Hamis had one. He was practicing as a businessman back in university, and part of his time he was seen operate a business buying garments from first-hand buyers from China and reselling them for a profit in Kampala. Hamis had seen how his parents were able to turn their little into great fortune in Kampala, and he wondered whether he could do the same and even do better than his fathers, who were at that time extremely rich and popular in Uganda. But back to Hamis. After aspiring for business and graduating, Hamis became obsessed with the idea about bringing garments, furniture, and ladies' bags to the Pearl of Africa. Of course, he did not own any properties he currently owns in Kampala. But Hamis had a lot of exposure which reassured him that he had stumbled upon a great opportunity. He knew that to take advantage of it, he would have to establish a way to enter into real estate business, which is always hard for all aspiring real estate owners. And this was an action he had zero experience with. But as is befitting of a man who would later build a stadium in Kampala, he went ahead and just did it. In the later years, a wise Hamis was given one of the many buildings owned by the father. And then later, he decided to mortgage it and get some money from the bank. In the beautiful city of Kampala, he stumbled upon a building that caught his eye. It belonged to one of his father's friends, and it was next to the tourism hotel in Kampala. The location of the building was so good at the time, so much that Hamis was determined to buy it. And a few years later, he presented himself back to the bank and bought the next land in Kampala, next to Kampala Mosque, where he constructed a mega complex. Hamis then used the loan he got from the bank to buy land in Munyonyo, quickly sold it and got a big profit to buy land next to Makerere University. And here, he set a very big building called the Ham Towers. Hamis then turned into importing furniture from China and reselling it at great profits at his shops, Rizik Mart and Segawa furniture shops. Obviously, at the same time, Hamis was dealing in clothes imported from China and Dubai, with over 12 shops in Kampala dealing in the same. Now at the time, his current businesses included Ham and Brothers shops, Ham Fashions, Laura Bags, A & Babies, Rafik Home Mart, Ham Towers, Pearl Apartments, Inbunga, Hana Mixed, and many others. Obviously, though his strategy wasn't scalable, he went to the only person he knew who understood more marketing than he did, his brother by blood, Yasin Sentongo. Yasin was easily one of the best marketers he could find. He had done multiple marketing campaigns. He liked his brother so much that he wanted to work closely with him as they prepare themselves for the big projects that they were about to handle in the later years. Thus, in 2015, the Board of Trustees of Nakivubo Stadium saw a need to revamp the stadium's image that was worn out at the time. And what they did is to go ahead and invite local investors that would want to take on this incredible opportunity to revamp the stadium. Now at this time, many business magnates around Kampala bid to take on the great opportunity, and among them was Hamis. Now for Hamis, it would be a very big move that would change his entire life and that of Ugandans at large. For the much love he has for the country, Hamis went ahead and presented his plan to the President of Uganda. Luckily for Hamis, the President saw enough potential in him and he went ahead to trust Hamis with this project. Therefore, President directed Hamis to reconstruct and increase the capacity of Nakivubo into a modern state-of-art sports facility with larger capacity. And the redevelopment works would be a joint venture between the government of Uganda as the owner and Hamis as the developer. And here Hamis, through his company Ham Enterprises and Rocker Construction as the lead contractor, were left with this big job. But as you know, All eyes of Ugandans were widely open to him as they expected something more special than the usual stadium. In 2017, Hamis smashed down the time-worn structures and he fenced off the entire stadium area to prepare for a fresh construction work to commence. But while Ham was handling the business side of the operation, he came up with an idea to first construct retail shops around, and then he would construct the stadium in the middle at an estimated cost of $200 million. He was the guy who single-handedly showed Ugandans that success and failure are based on reason and reality. In 2018, he wrote a book about it that sold over 1 million copies, and of course his company to start marketing books online and internationally, basing from Uganda.
Hamis Kiggundu, a 37-year-old who has worked hard against all odds in Uganda and made it to a journey of the few successful people in the world, has released a new book. Success and failure based on reason and reality was wonderful, but he just made a new comeback with Reason as the world masterpiece. Quite an interesting book.
Hamis was all about innovation, and he decided to venture into agro-processing. Now on one Sunday, January 15, 2023, President Yoweri Kaguta made a perfect decision to travel with Hamis to the UAE. And here, they were to have a meeting with Arab investors. In this meeting, Hamis discussed with them where they were to invest their capital in Uganda. And Hamis was here to give confidence to the Arab investors on Uganda's significant untapped foreign investment potential. But back to Nakivubo Stadium. The stadium was built within the FIFA standards, 105 meters length and 68 meters width, which is the biggest standard measurement according to FIFA. Now Hamis constantly sent engineers abroad to copy whatever was in the international modern stadiums and bring it back home. The Ham's Legacy, as he called it, became the best looking stadium in East Africa in 2023. This gave Uganda a great opportunity to become a co-host of the 2027 AFCON, together with Kenya and Tanzania as other co-host countries. But Ham had a big problem. His plan was so good that it was not easy to make it a success. And this was the plan. It included 35,000 comfortable seats, hotels for accommodation of players, and modern technology in terms of gates. And what Hamis was only doing was to avoid any possible problems inside the stadium. Hamis knew that to accommodate the 35,000 spectators, they had to evolve it beyond just being a simple stadium. Then he realized that he held all the cards if they were to construct 12 entrances and exits around the stadium. Now in the plan, it was designed that all the entrances and exits were directed to the different seating sections within the facility. They went on and constructed a basketball court on one side and a netball court on another side, as the government had directed them to do. Luckily for them, AFCON was to be held in 2027, and thus Hamis had plenty of time to prepare for his big move. In 2023, they had constructed a training gym and a boxing facility, very beautiful changing rooms, the VIP section, VVIP right below the VIP, executive boxes that were self-contained with TVs, toilets, and fridges. In August of 2023, they packed more than 10,000 trucks of stones and soil to fill up the valley where the stadium had been built. Weeks later, Ham brought specialists from Turkey to lay the carpet that had been imported from abroad. And this was the top-grade grass carpet that was used in first world stadiums that would give players a quality playing surface. From now on, the story of Ham, they have become one of the largest companies in Uganda in 2023, on the back of a brilliant marketing like Ham's campaigns, creating Ham Sports Club that will become famous across the country. The Accent Nakivubo Stadium is a story every bit as interesting as early days of Hamis. But don't take my word for it, Hamis himself released his story on his YouTube channel, and you can watch it for free on YouTube. In his book, Hamis goes into much greater detail than I ever possibly could in this video. So if you like the story, go get a copy from the bookstore near you as written by the man himself. I want to thank you for watching this video. Share it around if you enjoyed it and consider subscribing if you haven't yet already. You can expect another video later as usual. Until then, stay smart.